Hey yarny peeps, and welcome to this week's video. This week I'm going to show you how to make this super cute shooting heart. Great for Valentine's Day, which is coming up really soon. You will need 4 colours of yarn. I chose white, purple, pink and red, and a 4mm hook. This is one that I've made myself recently. So we're going to start with your heart colour yarn. I have chosen red yarn for this. You're just going to unwind it a little bit and make a slip knot with your heart colour yarn. You're going to need to make 2 hearts. So I'm going to walk you through the first one and then you can pause the video and make the second one and come back. So we're going to pop our yarn onto our hook and then we're going to chain 2. So chain 2, 1 and the second one, so chain 2, and then what you're going to do is increase into that first chain, so 2 double crochet into that first chain that you made, and that is going to give us 2 stitches. So increase into the first chain like so. And if you're using splitter yarn like me, it can be a bit fiddly. So we've got our 2 stitches here. You're going to chain 1, turn your work, and then increase into each of the 2 stitches. Chain 1, turn your work, and increase into each of the 2 stitches. So popping 2 double crochet in UK terms or 2 single crochet in US terms into each of those 2 stitches. And at the end of this second row, you should have 4 stitches. You've put 2 increases into the stitches, so 1 increase into the first stitch and 1 into the second, which will give you 4 stitches. So we've completed our first row. We're going to chain 1 and turn again, and we're going to increase in the first stitch, so 2 double crochet UK terms or 2 single crochet US terms into that first stitch, and then you're going to double crochet UK or single crochet US to the last stitch. So for this row it will be 2 stitches, and then in the very last stitch you're going to increase again, and that's exactly how we're going to go across row by row until we've got 12 stitches. So this is your single, and then in the very last stitch we're going to increase again, so 2 double crochet in the last stitch UK terms or 2 single crochet in the last stitch US terms. And that is exactly how this pattern is going to go. We're going to do an increase in the first stitch, we're going to double crochet or single crochet to the last stitch, and then we're going to do an increase in the last stitch. And this is what our heart is starting to look like. We've got that point for the bottom of the heart there. So we're going to chain 1 and turn again, and we're going to pop an increase into the first stitch. Then we're going to double crochet UK terms or single crochet US terms to the last stitch and pop an increase in the last stitch as well. I've popped the instructions on the screen. I'm going to work across the row and I'll meet you guys back here when we're done. That row is complete, so again we're going to chain 1 and turn our work and do exactly the same thing. Increase into the first stitch, double crochet UK terms or single crochet US terms across the row and increase into the last stitch. Again, I'll pop the instructions on the screen and I'll meet you guys back here when you've done this next row. Okay, row completed. Next row, exactly the same, chain 1 and turn, pop an increase in the first stitch, double crochet UK terms or single crochet US terms over to the last stitch and pop an increase in the last stitch. If you guys have got any questions or comments about this pattern, please do drop them below and I'll meet you back here when we're done. So I'm just popping my last stitch in now, and this is the last row. So next what we're going to do is work on the bumps of the heart. So what you'll see here is these two bumps. We're going to be making them separately, one after the other. So chain one and turn as you have before, and then you're just going to work 6 double crochet UK turns or 6 single crochet US turns across here. So just work 6, don't go all the way across, and then we're going to turn and work backwards, and we'll work one bump at a time. So 6 across, and then we'll turn and work the other way. And you're going to do exactly the same for the second bump once we've fastened off this one. So you'll get to the middle very shortly once you've worked your 6, and then you can repeat these instructions once we've fastened off this first bump. So we've got our 6 stitches there, and we're at the middle. And then what we're going to do now is we are going to chain 1 and turn our work, and then we're going to decrease across the first 2. So hook goes in, yarn over, pull through, hook goes in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and that should decrease. Work 2 double crochet or UK turns or 2 single crochet US turns, and then you're going to decrease over the last 2 stitches as well. So this is our decrease row. So decrease over these last 2 stitches like so, and then you'll be at the end of your row as well. And then this is what we're looking like so far, exactly the same now. Chain 1 and turn, and we're just going to do a standard row of double crochet UK turns or single crochet US turns. So 4 stitches across this row, no increasing, no decreasing, just 4 standard stitches across here. This just gives a bit of height to the heart shape. And then the next row that we do will be our last row of this bump shape. So last stitch in the row here. And then this is what we're looking like so far. And it's just giving a little bit of height to that curve. So we're going to chain 1 and turn again. And this is going to be our last row. And then we're going to fasten off. So 2 decreases. So decrease over the first 2 stitches and decrease over the last 2 stitches. I will pop the instructions on the screen as well, you guys, just in case you're getting a bit lost, don't worry. And any questions or comments, please do drop them below as well. This is our last decrease. And then what you're going to want to do after this decrease is you're going to want to fasten off at this stage and weave in your ends. So this is how I fasten off. And that's our first side of our heart completed. And then we're going to do the second side. So what we're going to do is we're going to join our yarn into this stitch here. We're going to just pop our hook through and then do a slip stitch to join the yarn. And then we're going to double crochet UK turns or single crochet US turns in exactly the same space that we've joined the yarn. So pop another stitch in here. And I'm just going to hold my tail end to work it together. And then you're going to work this bump exactly the same way as the first one. So pause the video here and come back to this spot when you're done. So now we're going to double crochet or single crochet around the whole heart. You're going to put stitches evenly around the whole heart to give it a nice smooth edge, and also it will be better then for when you're sewing the hearts together. So at this point, you're going to just put even stitches around the whole heart. When you get to the middle of the 2 bumps, so the middle of the heart here, you're going to want to slip stitch so that it creates a deeper dip. Work even stitches around the whole heart. When we get to the point of the heart, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pop a double crochet in the bottom of the point. So I'll just work through that with you now. So we're just going to work to the point and then pop a double crochet UK or single crochet US into the bottom of the point, which is here. So a stitch here, and then you're going to chain one and pop a stitch in exactly the same place as you just put one. So that will give a nice point to the bottom of the heart. So even stitches all the way around the heart. Pause the video and then come back when you have done that and when you have made your second heart. So here we have our 2 hearts. Now these will be flipped wrong sides together and sewn together, and what we will do is we will put our sort of shooting tails in between them when we sew them together. So the next thing we're going to do after we've done the heart is we're going to make these tails. You're going to make one in each of your chosen colours, but they're all exactly the same. So we start with a slip knot for our tails, and again they're going to be worked row by row. We're going to insert our hook and then we're going to chain 3. So chain 3 with your colour that you have chosen. And then in the second chain from the hook, you're going to double crochet or single crochet US terms, and in the last chain from the hook. So this is going to give us 2 stitches. We're going to chain 1 and turn. And then you're going to work a stitch in each of the previous, again 2 stitches. So 1 double crochet in each UK or 1 single crochet in each US. And then we're going to chain 1 again and turn our work, and this time we're going to increase in the first stitch and then work single stitches across. So increase in the first stitch and then 1 double crochet UK or single crochet US in the next, and that will give us 3 stitches at the end of this row. And each row is going to be the same. It's an increase at the beginning and then work across. Chain 1, and then we're just going to work across this row. So 1 stitch in each of the previous, and our rows will work up an increase row, a standard row, an increase row, a standard row until we have 7 stitches. So you're going to have 3 at the end of this row, and then we are going to chain 1 and turn again. So chain 1 and turn, and then we come to our increase row again. So increase in the first stitch and then work across to the end. Don't worry, your row counts will be on the screen for you to see. You're going to have 4 at the end of this row, and then chain 1 and turn, and just 1 stitch in every stitch across, which again will give you 4 stitches. So chain 1 and turn again, and then back to our increases. So increase in the first stitch and work across the row, and you will have 5 stitches at the end of this row. Increase in the first and then 1 stitch in every other stitch across the row, and you'll have 5 at the end. And then we are going to chain 1 and turn again, and just put 5 single stitches in these ones across this row. So this is just a standard row of double crochet UK or single crochet US, and you'll have 5 at the end. Chain 1 and turn again, and increase in this next one, and then you're going to just put 1 stitch in every of the previous after this, and you'll have 6 at the end of this row. And that's exactly how it's going to go until we've got 7. So last stitch here at this row, and this is going to be the 6th stitch. Chain 1 and turn, and then just pop 1 stitch in each of the previous for this next row. This is quite fast paced, so instructions will be on the screen, and please feel free to pause it if you need to. Okay, so we're on our last stitch of this row, our 6th stitch, 2 rows left. We're going to chain 1 and turn again, and this is our last increase row. So increase in the first stitch and then 1 standard crochet, single crochet US, double crochet UK in each of the stitches across, and we will have 7 stitches. So increase in the first and then double crochet or single crochet across, and then we will have 7 stitches, chain 1 and turn for our last row, where you're just going to double crochet UK turns or single crochet US turns across the row to get 7 stitches, and this is our last row. And this is my last stitch of the row, and you will see what we have at the end. It's a nice little point. And all we're going to do now is double crochet UK turns or single crochet US turns, a nice edge, even stitches around this point. So nice even stitches around the point till you get back to the top of the point. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you guys back here when we are done. So we're nearly back at the top, and all you're going to do to finish this is slip stitch into that first stitch and fasten off. And you're going to need to make 2 more of these in your chosen colours. So pause the video here, make 2 more, and then come back here when you've got your other 2 pieces. Oh, and don't forget to weave in the ends. So we've got our 3 tails now, and what we're going to do is we're going to pop them and the heart together to finish off our motif. So arrange them as you would like them, and then pop them to one side because we have to start sewing our hearts together first. We are going to sew our hearts together, but we're going to sew around and then stop sewing at this sort of point here, and then we're going to insert our tails and then sew through the heart and the tails to bring it all together. So what you're going to need to do first is you're going to need your 2 hearts, and they're going to need to be right sides out, so wrong sides together, and you're going to need a long tail of your main heart colour, and you're going to want to start sewing them from the middle around. So you'll go from the middle here and then go around, and you're just going to do a standard sort of in out motion. I don't know the name for this stitch, I'm so sorry to all those embroiderers out there. All the way around until you get to the point where you want to stop and insert your tails. So we're going to sew around, and I'll meet you back here when you've done that. So I'm just coming up to the point where I'm going to stop and insert my tails. Now you can put them anywhere you want, it's just I find they look better if you have them sort of jutting out from this position. So all I'm going to do is just leave that dangling for a minute, and then we're going to arrange our tails into the sort of order that you want them, and then stick them inside the heart at this point here, and then we're just going to carry on sewing. So what will happen is you'll sew through the heart, through your tails, and it'll just piece them all together and make them really, really secure. So keep sewing now through your heart as you have been before, making sure you get the tails as well. And then I'm going to meet you back here once you've sewn it all together and show you how to finish off from the end. So I'm coming to the end here. This is my last push through, and you can see here we've got the tail from the beginning and you're going to have the tail from the end, and all we're going to do is double knot them and then hide it inside the heart. Because it's a 3D piece, we can hide our tails easily inside. So double knot your tails together like so, and another one. Make sure they're really, really secure so they're not going to come undone. If you want to sew this to something, you can just double knot them and then sew with your tail ends. You're going to snap them off, and then you're going to sew your tail ends inside the heart. So just thread it onto a needle, and then put the tail inside the heart from where you've double knotted and just push it out somewhere else, making sure it only goes through so it's inside and not coming out the other way. And then if you pull on it, it hides the knot in, and then just chop the ends off and do the exact same with the other end. And that is your super cute shooting heart complete. You can use it for gifting, you can use it as a motif, pop it on a card, you can use it as a pin badge. The possibilities are literally endless. You could give it as a Valentine's and put someone's name on the front. I am absolutely super chuffed with this, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any suggestions for other patterns, drop them in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.